my YouTube channel. My name is Samaria. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also like, comment, and share. And we're just going to get right into the video. So today we're going to be talking about trusting God in the process, or the subtitle, The Wait. And I'm just going to be sharing an experience with you guys that I recently encountered, to where I just had to put all my trust in God and really just had to believe and have faith that He was going to see me through and that He was going to come through right on time. So I just want to, encourage you guys and motivate you guys to just continue to trust in God. Put all your trust in Him and believe that He is going to see you through in whatever situation, whatever season you're in your life, whatever you're waiting on. He is going to fulfill that, and He is going to fulfill that promise in your life. So for those of you who don't know, I am a college student, and I recently just graduated high school in 2018, so a year ago, or almost a year ago, yeah. And I went to the Cleveland Institute of Music, and it is a music school. It's a conservatory strictly for classical students. And I, went in the fall of August, started in August or whatever. And the beginning stages, of a college student, the semester starts and you get a hang of how things are going to be or whatever. And throughout the first semester, I started to realize that I wasn't that great in theory, and I had to get a tutor, and it was just very hard for me to understand. And sometimes I think that it was the theory at that school. I don't necessarily know. Their theory was hard, but theory in general is hard. But their theory at that school was very vigorous and very intense. And I was in a basic class. So I was like, if they theory hard in this basic class, I'm like, what's going on? But, I had to get a tutor and things like that. And throughout the semester or the school year, I was just in a place to where I was trying to figure out myself. I was trying to figure out if music was something that I really wanted to do. And I started having these little thoughts in my head because I was just getting very discouraged about not being successful in theory. And it just really started to take a toll on me and really unmotivate me to do anything really. And so I started not going to class, and I was just not living up to the potential that I know I can. And I was just feeling very unmotivated, just feeling very defeated, and it caused me not to want to do anything. And I think that was a kind of a stage of like depression, because I just didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to stay in bed all day. And towards the end of the semester, it started to get worse, and that's exactly what I did. And I was just in a place where I was just very confused. I remember there would be times where I would be talking to God, and I would just be like, God, like, is this something that you've called for me to do? Like, is music the purpose that you've placed in me? Like, is this the purpose that you've given me? I was just, very confused. And I would ask Him, like, show me what it is that's my calling. Show me what my purpose is here on this earth. If it's not music, if it's not, being at this school, I was just asking for clarity on a lot of things. And so what I realized is the reason why God allowed me to go through that certain point of like being confused about like what my purpose was, and my calling, all that stuff, he allowed me to realize that he's placed different things on the inside of me, and he's placed different callings on the inside of me to bless people with. And he started to reveal that to me. And you know, it was just so crazy because I was just in a very confused place, not knowing what I actually wanted to do. And that's a very like fearful feeling, because I'm like, okay, if this is something that I don't know if I want to do, like, I have to think ahead. I have to think, you know, in the future and all this stuff. And I was just really getting caught up about, you know, the future and like this, that, and the other. And God had me, he checked me. That's what he did. He checked me. He was like, you don't need to fear about the future. You don't need to stress yourself out about the future. You need to focus on today, focus on the now, and let me handle the future. Let me handle the rest. And he really started to deal with me with that. So as the semester went on and all of that, it really got to a point to where I was not doing well in school at all. And it got to a point to where I had to leave. And that was very hard for me to do, because I found a church out there in Cleveland. And when I tell you, this church was all God. Like, it was all God. And I formed so many relationships, lifelong relationships. And I really truly believe that that experience with this church really transformed me and really helped develop me into the woman that I am today, to the place that I am now with my relationship with God, and just how I see different things. Like, I'm telling y'all, this is my church home. This will always be my first church home, my family. And I'm just so grateful to God for them and just everyone there, and the pastor and the leaders. Shout out to Ohio, Resurrection Church on the Rock, because that's my family and they will always be my family. And I'm just so grateful to God for them. And I'm so grateful that God allowed me to find the church and to build those relationships, because though that the church and the relationships that I built they were beneficial to me. They were very beneficial to me, and I'm just so grateful. But it was very hard for me because I had to leave, and I had to leave Ohio. And I knew that if I left Ohio, that I would be leaving the church, and that I would be leaving all my friends and everything like that. And so when I realized that I was leaving, there was a point to where I was angry. And I was angry at myself. I was angry at God. I was angry. I'm not gonna lie. And I really had to just check myself, and God really had to check me, because there are things that God allows to happen to get you to where he needs you to be. And I knew that I was coming to the realization that my time in Cleveland was coming to an end. And I didn't want to accept that, because I just felt like, you know, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go back home to where I don't have all my friends here with me, and then the church home. Like, I just didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept it. But I got to a point to where I was just like, you know, I've accepted it now. I've accepted what God is trying to do and where he's trying to take me. And I'm so grateful, because God knows all things, and he knows what we need. He knows all things well. And I'm just so grateful that I allowed myself to accept what was happening, reposition myself, and say, okay, you know what? This is what it is. And I'm just going to trust and believe that God has me in his hands, and he's going to, he's going to fulfill every need. So, I had to leave, and it was mainly because I wasn't doing well in school. But I just want you guys to know that I would never allow myself to fail purposely. I was in such a low place to where I just got so unmotivated that I didn't want to do anything, because I was just so confused about what I was at that school for and why I wasn't succeeding, and how come I couldn't understand theory. And it was just so many things that played into it, and it just allowed me, or caused me, to get so unmotivated that I didn't want to do anything. And then it led to me having to leave. And so I had to, say all my goodbyes and just pack and all that stuff. And during those last couple of weeks, or that last week that I had there, I just really said, okay, God, you know what? I'm going to allow you to have your way. You're going to have your way in my life regardless, but I'm giving you permission. I'm allowing you to have your way, and I'm just giving you full control. You take control, and I'm going to follow you wherever you lead me. And so I ended up coming back home, and it was just so much that I had to think about now, because I'm like, okay, where am I going to go to school? And now I'm going to have to get a job, and, just prepare myself for this next, road that God is trying to take me on. And I ended up applying at another school and auditioning there. And I'm just so grateful to God, because he knows all things well. I'm almost 100% sure that I'm going to get in. And, I haven't heard back from them yet, but I'm almost 100% sure that I'm going to get in. But it's just so crazy, because God knows what's going to happen before it happens. And it's like we question him, and we doubt him, and we, get all frantic about certain things that happen in our life, a sudden change that happens in our life, when God knows why he's doing this, and he knows why he's allowing it to happen. We just don't know. And I just want to encourage you to continue to put your full trust in him. Like, I literally had to let go and let God. I literally had to let him have his way. And I'm telling you, I'm just so grateful and so thankful, because God literally gave me his strength. I was not going through this on my own, in my own strength. He literally gave me his strength. Strength in the mind, strength in just my heart, everything. He gave me his strength and allowed me to fully lean on him and depend on him. And God will put you in situations to where you literally put all your dependency on him, to where you won't have no choice. And we have to begin to accept change and accept the things that God allows to happen in our life, because at the end of the day, it's for our good. Like, we may not be able to see it then when it happens, but know that when things pop up and obstacles and roadblocks and stuff happen in your life, know that it's all for a reason, and God is allowing it to happen because at the end of the day, He's going to get the glory out of it. And I'm just so grateful, because God is really amazing. And I'm so glad that I didn't give up, that I didn't because there was a point to where I thought, well, maybe school isn't just for me. And it was just little things like that, and I'm like, no, like, you are going to succeed. You are not a failure. I pray that I'm speaking to somebody right now. You are not a failure. You are not a mistake. You are right where you're at on purpose. Like, you're there for a reason. And I just want to encourage you to believe and trust that God is going to fulfill every promise that He made to you in your life. It may not happen how you want it to happen, or it may not happen when you want it to happen, but know that it will happen. It will happen. And this experience just taught me, it just brought me to a whole new level of trusting in God. It really did. It brought me to a whole new level of trusting in Him. It brought me to a whole new level in increasing my faith and with my faith and all that stuff. It just brought me to a whole new level of who God is. Like, I'm telling y'all, just continue to trust and have faith in Him. And I promise you, things will turn out how God wants them to turn out. How He wants them to turn out. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy this. I really pray that you guys receive something from this. And I will see you guys in my next video. Please comment. Don't be afraid to comment and leave little feedback or whatever. Let me know what you guys want me to do in my next video. I want to hear your requests. I want to hear your suggestions. So just let me know, and I will see you guys in my next video.